Hi, I'm Ryan Emmons with Argyle Road Baptist Church in Regina, and thought I'd share a couple moments anyways, just to talk about a bit about tradition. And it's a neat thing, tradition. We often get caught up in it, trying to relive the days of yore, as it were, the past good old days. And yet in our current modern society, we look forward so much to a future that's uncertain, but we also don't want to hang out in the past. We want to spend time doing the things that are traditional stuff. Liturgy gets lost a little bit, or ministries that have had a long and good run get left behind because those who are passionate about it need to pass on the torch, but there's nobody there to pick up the torch. At our church at Argyle Road in Regina, we've just celebrated this year a milestone. Our senior pastor, Ron Phillips, and his wife Marilyn have been there for 20 years this past August, and we got to celebrate that. And what a legacy to leave. And if you look at the life of our church and we think about, what has happened over the course of those churches, but many people have come and they've rested and they've healed and they've been renewed and they've been encouraged and mentored and discipled, and then have moved on to other ministries, to missions overseas, or to other churches, or moved to other cities and moved that legacy on. But it does bring to mind a bit of a challenge that happens when you have something that is steeped in tradition, that has been around for so long. You end up with a complacency that sometimes says, this will always happen and I don't have to do anything about it, and therefore I don't have to get involved. And so one of the things that we're finding at our church, and I'm finding as an associate pastor, is that there are a lot of good people who have a lot of gifts and a lot of skills and a lot of talents and a lot of passion, but aren't passionate necessarily about the ministries that have been championed in the past. And yet we look and say, well, we've always done this, and we've always had this ministry or this event, and it's run like this over the course of time. And those are good things to celebrate, but sometimes it makes it difficult to get new people, new believers, new members to our church involved in ways that are meaningful for them. So some of the things that we're trying to work on is trying to figure out how do we celebrate and maintain good ministry. And yeah, celebrate is the best word I can come up with there. That which has gone on in the past, and really enjoy that, and at the same time encouraging new people to step out and say, I'm passionate about this, and let them do that. And I really appreciate being in a setting like Argyle Road where there are people who are excited about doing things like that, and where there's a staff culture, a church leadership culture that says we need to come alongside people and say, how can I help you to not only be excited about something you're already excited about, but how can I help you to see that ministry happen and flourish, and at the same time being allowed to lay to rest the sacred cows of ministry, as it were, and yet with dignity and allow for us to feel good about what has gone on in the past, but be excited about the changes and the culture that's happening in the future now. I think one of the key parts to that in anything is developing ministry, developing church, as it were, around purpose and vision, and tying that in so that everything that happens in the church happens with purpose and vision and direction holistically. That as a church we're moving in this direction in every aspect of it, whether it's our ministry to children, or ministry to singles, or ministry to whoever or whatever, or outreach, evangelism, missions, whatever sort of thing, ties back strongly, not just a loose thread you can always tie something back, but as a strong connection to the purpose and ministry of the church itself. And I'm excited to be part of what is going on there in those sorts of things. One of the things that we've just been launching out at our church is what we're calling Grow, Learn, and Connect groups, GLC groups. And more than just a small group ministry. It is a small group ministry, and that's nothing new about small group ministry, but it's a small group ministry with a purpose that says, as a church, we are one large body, moving in one direction. but we are made up of individuals and smaller circles that we can grow in a relationship with each other and with God in a smaller setting, and we can learn about one another, we can learn about God, we can learn about His will for our lives in that smaller grouping setting. And then we also then can build those connections, those relationships that say, hey, you know, I'm out in the workplace, I'm out talking with my neighbors and sharing about Jesus, sharing about my faith, albeit sometimes poorly. But I know that behind me I've got 6, 8, 10, 20, 100 people that I have connected with that are praying with me and essentially standing with me in those moments of ministry and evangelism. And so trying to shift some culture where traditionally has been, you know, somebody wants to have a ministry that says, hey, we're going to do this, and they go and do it, and it's great, it's a flash, it's wonderful. Shifting that to say, hey, we have a purpose we want to get to here. And so let's focus our energies to get to there and be able to see that there is somebody to pass that torch on to as we disciple those moving alongside of us, and as we encourage one another and grow together. Passions get shared and passions get picked up and taken up. And GLC groups at Argyle are just one of the ways that can happen. And I know in many churches it's the same story, it's the same thing. And so I do want to encourage and do want to be excited with other churches that are trying new things, but are trying them with purpose and with a point that says, this is what we're called to be and where we want to be. How do we get there? And how do we get there together? I do pray that those of you who are watching this video will have been blessed by it and challenged by it, hopefully, and hopefully not too offended by anything that's said, but yet maybe just a little bit to cause some thinking. Thank you for listening.